Hello and welcome to a special interview on India Today TV with the Pakistan High Commissioner to India, Abdul Basit, who finds himself in an eye of a storm after an Indian national, Khulbhushan Yadav, has been sentenced to death by a Pakistani court, allegedly because he is a spy and a terrorist. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Basit. The basic direct question to you. You are branding an Indian citizen a terrorist without providing a shred of credible evidence to back up that claim. You stand for the Pakistani state.
Yes.
The Pakistani military court has branded him a terrorist and has sentenced him to death, and you are quoted in the media as also saying he's a terrorist.
So thank you very much, Rajdeep, first of all, and this is my first media interaction post Commander Khulbhushan Yadav verdict. Yes, in response to Indian demarche, I did say a few things to Foreign Secretary Jaishankar, but my reaction was not for the public consumption. Hence, media is speculation on both sides.
Are you denying the fact? As in
not
Sama TV quotes you, a Pakistani TV channel quotes you as saying that you branded Jadhav as a terrorist.
What I am saying is that I did say, and I did react or did respond to the Indian demarche to Foreign Secretary Jaishankar, but whatever I said to him was not meant for the public. Hence, speculation on both sides.
Now, I want to know what is the stand of Pakistan. Very clearly, 3 months ago, in December of this year, your security advisor to the Prime Minister, Mr. Sartaj Aziz, goes before the Pakistani Senate and makes it very clear that there isn't sufficient evidence to suggest that Mr. Jadhav was a spy, far from being a terrorist. 3 months later, a Pakistani court, without going through a fair trial process, in the matter of hours, pronounces the death sentence for Mr. Jadhav. What is India to understand?
No, I think he was quoted out of context, and he did say this subsequently. And you would recall, Rajdeep, we did submit a dossier to the UN Secretary General in September last year. So that was our initial dossier. And since then, we have been able to gather more evidence and more proof.
What is the evidence? Please put it before the public domain. A video which is badly edited is being used by Pakistan as allegedly confessional video to say that a man is a terrorist. And I have exactly what Mr. Aziz said. He says in the dossier on Jadhav, it did not have any conclusive evidence. What the dossier concerned was not enough.
No, as I said, he subsequently did say that he was quoted out of context. And since then, we have been able to gather more evidence.
What is the evidence, sir?
But that is the area, because first of all, we must understand that Commander Yadav has been visiting Pakistan since 2003. And on original, genuine Indian passport, but under a fake name of Mubarak Hussain Patel. So it is for you to let us know as to why he has been traveling under a fake name with original Indian passport. Then charges against were as such that he couldn't be tried in a civil court. I can tell you that, and you would appreciate, that Pakistan has suffered enormously at the hand of terrorists during the last 15-16 years. We have carried out the Zarbul Az operation, and now the all-encompassing Raddul Fasad operation is underway.
So I'll come back.
Let me explain.
Yes.
And meanwhile, Pakistan has also established military courts through an act of parliament for expeditious trials against terrorists. Now, since then, during the last 3 years, we have tried over 270 Pakistanis in these military courts.
When does Jadhav become a terrorist? My point is, let's look at the law.
Okay.
Let's look at the law, and let's look at world reaction. From amnesty to every American seasoned diplomat today is criticizing Pakistan's action. And let me tell you why, sir. India was not given consular access to Mr. Jadhav. A civilian is tried by a military court-martial, not provided a civilian lawyer, no charge sheet or evidence is made public. not given a chance to cross-examine witnesses. There is an entire lack of transparency in this process.
Not at all.
That is why even the likes of Shashi Tharoor yesterday on my program says Pakistan is behaving like a rogue state.
Not at all, not at all. He has been tried under the laws of the land, 1952 Pakistan Army Act, and he was also provided the Defense Council. So everything was done according to our laws, our rules of procedure.
So the rules of procedure, you know, of a military code are very different to a civilian code. So there is no transparency provided. But there are serious question marks therefore being raised over the process. The hurriedness of it is casting a doubt over the judicial process.
Raji, remember, he was not an ordinary man or a civilian person. He was a serving officer. So hence he was tried in a military court, as so many other Pakistanis are being tried before that.
Sir, as you well know, and I will give you even the case of an Ajmal Kasab, someone who was caught in a terror operation red-handed. In the case of an Ajmal Kasab, India allowed an open trial, gave Ajmal Kasab every possibility of defending himself, allowed him to exhaust all legal options. Please look at the way Pakistan, on the other hand, deals with a Jadhav. Within a year of his arrest, in a trial which lasts a few days and a few hours, the man is pronounced guilty and a death sentence.
My advice to you would be, please do not mix apples and oranges, lest you draw convoluted conclusions.
No, in fact, I'm saying that we have reached a stage where India is willing to go to the extent of providing even a terrorist who's caught red-handed the full legal system support. But you are not even willing to give Mr. Jadhav, who 3 months ago your government admittedly said they did not have enough evidence against.
No, legal course is available to him. Now that he has been convicted, he would have the right to appeal. And if his verdict is upheld by the appellate court, then he would ultimately have the right to a mercy petition.
Why was no consular access provided? India made 13 requests for consular access. There's the Geneva Convention, there's the Vienna Convention of 1967 on consular relations. You did not observe any of
Consular access is not automatic all the time, and especially with relations to security and sensitive matters, consular access is not provided across the board. Let's remember that. And then secondly, we do have, a bilateral agreement on consular access as well. But
the trial was kept extremely hush-hush. The entire process is shrouded in secrecy, in mystery. Is Pakistan telling us that we will carry out the trial of an Indian national without providing him the due process of law?
The due process of law was followed. It was a very sensitive case. And since the arrest of Commander Yadav, I can tell you that since his arrest in March, we have arrested hundreds of operatives and foot soldiers on the basis of information provided by him.
Even the arrest, sir, even the arrest itself, even the arrest is shrouded in mystery. Mr. High Commissioner, there's also every evidence that Khulbhushan was kidnapped from the Iranian side, handed over to the Pakistanis. When news of his arrest is revealed, a well-connected Afghan journalist says, the story of the Indian raw spy is as fake as others. He's sold by smugglers mafia on the Iranian territory. Importantly, the German ambassador to Pakistan, Sir Dr. Gunter Malak, said, according to the Dawn, the Indian spy recently arrested in Balochistan was actually caught by the Taliban and sold to Pakistani intelligence.
Far-fetched and baseless speculation.
So this is public domain.
Far-fetched.
You are denying what the Pakistani, the German ambassador to Pakistan says.
Baseless. He was caught in Balochistan, and as we have been telling,
So you think that the German ambassador to Pakistan is lying?
I am saying that all baseless speculation, no truth whatsoever.
So I'm not looking at it as speculation. We have exact details. The exact details that the German ambassador provided at the time was to suggest that Mr. Jadhav was in Iran.
On what basis was he saying
He's obviously had some information. He's now going to discount even that a German ambassador...
What information? We would like to see that information.
So you don't provide the rest of the world the information that you have on the basis of which today you are calling Mr. Jadhav a terrorist.
Because we are not providing, because we understand how sensitive the information and evidence is. So you would not like to make all those things public. It is as simple as that. That's why he was tried in field... in martial court.
The belief in India, Mr. High Commissioner, is that Mr. Jadhav is being used by Pakistan to A, send out a signal to India that you are interfering in Balochistan and that you are spreading terror and subversive activities in Balochistan. And this is part of a tit-for-tat policy. You have not gone by evidence, by conventions, by protocol. You have simply seen this as an opportunity, perhaps, dare I say, to escalate Indo-Pak tensions.
Not at all. Balochistan, we do have our concerns and we have been saying so. And I would refer you to our joint statement at Sharm el-Sheikh, in which too, therein we did, there is a reference to our concerns in Balochistan. So this is not, Balochistan is not something new. We have been raising these concerns back in 2009 as well.
So you are
I do not see any linkage between the two.
You are using an Indian national, sentencing him to death on very flimsy evidence. That is why Sushma Swaraj got up yesterday in Parliament and said it was murder and Pakistan should be mindful of the consequences. Which is why I said, you are once again raising, escalating Indo-Pak tensions.
We are not escalating because, you know, we all know as to what the situation between our two countries is, unfortunately. Now this serving commander, serving military man, naval officer has been caught in activities, so he had to be tried for that.
But the activities, please explain, give us details. Doesn't the world deserve details?
He was, as you know, the press release of ISPR very clearly says that he was tried for espionage and sabotage. So this, I think, these two rubrics very well explain as to what were the charges.
You know, let me put something very interesting. Alisa Ayers, a former senior State Department official today says, apart from the gross irregularities in the Jadhav situation, such as the lack of consular access and the secrecy surrounding the surprise court-martial, what struck me the most is the contrast between the speed of Mr. Jadhav's trial set against the endless postponements of that of the 26/11 Mumbai attackers. You won't put a Zakir Rahman Lakvi or a Hafiz Saeed or a Masood Azhar through the process of the FMC of your Federal Martial Court. But you will call Jadhav a terrorist without providing evidence and then expedite the trial.
I'm sorry, Rajdeep, you cannot blame Pakistan if the trial on the Mumbai attacks is not moving fast. As I have been saying all along, that this is a very complex trial. The crime scene was in India, trial is taking place in Pakistan. We need full Indian cooperation in order to move forward. It is as simple as that.
So look at how, look at the contrast between what you are saying here.
You cannot blame Pakistan.
Here you are saying we need full evidence.
Absolutely.
in a terror attack in which more than 150 people died, and an Indian national is being sentenced to death within a year of his arrest without providing the full evidence to the global community. Please see the contrast in the position of Pakistan. A Zakir Rahman Lakvi gets away, a Hafiz Saeed wanders around Pakistan like a free citizen, a Masood Azhar wanders around like a free citizen. Please see the contrast.
Yes, Rajdeep, we are asking for more evidence, not to show to the world at large, but to put before the court. This is what I am saying. But we have had enough evidence in the context of Commander Yadav to put before the court and try him.
I am saying put the evidence before the public.
It is not
there you believe there is no necessity to do so, but India must provide full evidence of an attack in which more than 100 Indian innocent nationals
provide to us, not to the international
community. So you provide to India? Please provide to India. But please provide to India the evidence.
The trial is in Pakistan, not here.
So you don't believe that it is necessary in the case of someone whom you are calling is an Indian spy, someone sent by the Indian government, and interestingly, Mr. High Commissioner, can I tell you, if he was indeed a spy, and he may well be, but if he was such an experienced spy as Pakistan claims, why was he with Indian documentation?
Under the fake name.
1 minute. Why was he with Indian documentation? Why would he be with Indian? And he's picked up from Iran, a third country, and not from the Pakistan-Afghanistan border as you claim.
Indian passport, but under a Muslim name, under a fake name. And as I said, he has been traveling to Pakistan since 2003, but he was caught last year.
So you say he was caught. and the evidence on the ground suggests he was handed over by a Taliban syndicate.
There is no evidence. It is all hearsay.
These are comments made by responsible citizens and journalists,
that is the problem,
diplomats.
that is the problem. You immediately believe in hearsay, in a speculation, if it is something against Pakistan. But we have been going through a legal procedure, a due process of law, but you would raise questions about that. I'm telling you that many hundreds of Pakistanis have also been tried the same way.
Can I ask
there
you if your government is aware of the manner in which this trial has been conducted, or has it been conducted purely by the army? Does Nawaz Sharif, even Mr. Sharif and his government aware of this trial?
Definitely. There is no question about that. Why shouldn't they be aware?
Let me ask you this. The reason I ask you, and this is because the trial has been kept so hush-hush, we know so little, there is speculation in this country, sir, that a Pakistani former ISI officer, Habib Zahir, is in Indian custody. He was found on the Indo-Nepal border. Many believe that he was part of the entire plot to abduct Mr. Jadhav last year. And this is now tit-for-tat. Pakistan believes a senior ISI officer is in Indian custody. You want a possible swap deal. You want a tit-for-tat.
That all falls in the realm of speculation, Raj. I mean, I would not like to really.
Would you like to confirm any of these reports? Does Pakistan believe that there is a senior ISI officer in Indian custody?
I would not know. Frankly speaking.
Do you not believe, though, that civilized nations, and India and Pakistan would like to believe that they are, should, even when it comes to spies, if at all Mr. Jadhav is a spy, like with fishermen, have some kind of a protocol?
No, it is
to exchange. The US and Russia had this in the Cold War years.
No, spies are treated differently. But as I said, he was tried for espionage as well as sabotage. So they are two different things.
So, as I said, all this is also in the realm of speculation because we do not have the evidence. You have still refused.
You are not supposed
on a sustained basis to provide India this evidence.
You are not supposed to know this evidence. I am sure the government authorities here know what we are talking about.
The government denies. The government says Pakistan has not provided a shred of evidence, and the evidence is flimsy at best. And it's not just the government of India, sir. I have lists of officers, both in Pakistan and in the United States and in India, who are casting a question mark over the fairness of this trial. And therefore I ask you, do you believe that by conducting such a trial, Pakistan is only confirming the doubters who today see Pakistan, dare I say, as a rogue state?
Not at all. I mean, you're entitled to your views, but the question is, this is not the only trial which has been conducted. Given the seriousness and sensitivity of the nature of charges involved. Secondly, as I told you earlier, over 270 Pakistanis have been tried, and this is all being done, to the entire.
India has never put a Pakistani spy in this country through this kind of process that you are.
I am not talking about
You are now likening Jadhav to the Pakistani terrorist, to the Taliban terrorist that you have fought in your country.
Commander Yadav.
I am likening him to Pakistanis who may be indulging in espionage activities in this country, who are never given anything less than the due process of law, a fair trial in this country.
No
one has been sentenced to death.
It was not mere espionage. It was also sabotage. So please go through our press release more carefully, and you will find the reasons as to why was he tried in the first instance and under what law.
I have gone through your press release, sir, which does not give any details of the evidence that is there against him. You've gone by a confession, a video confession which anyone can see is clearly lacking in credibility, sir. It appears like a tutored exercise.
No, but those confessions were also, he confessed to all the charges before the court as well. It's not about the video itself. He was presented before the court.
Been brought under torture. And I don't only reflect on him. There are other cases. A young man, Ansari, whose mother came and met me the other day. He is in a Pakistani jail. Not been provided a fair trial to this day.
I also met her.
So my worry is that there are these young Indian citizens who are today in Pakistani jails who are not being provided a fair trial.
Not at all.
They are victims of this hostile Pakistani army-run state.
I can give, those trials were conducted fairly and according to the rule of the law, law of the land. I can quote you many examples here in India too. People who have already completed their sentences, they're not being allowed to go back to Pakistan. People who are teenagers, in their teens, they're not being allowed to go back to Pakistan. There are no cases against them. So these things are happening here as well. So don't tell me that Pakistan has become a rogue state by trying Commander Yadav under Pakistan's law.
It has become a rogue state, sir, because it doesn't follow the due process of law. And that's what I'm going to ask you in conclusion. Can I expect Mr. Jadhav, who has been sentenced by a military court, to at least now get a fair, open trial? Can I expect that your government will look at this case carefully?
He got a fair trial. We have no doubt about that. And now there are
a trial conducted in secrecy, in a hush-hush manner, in a matter of a few hours, a sentence is handed out, and you tell me, sir, that it was a fair trial.
Because he is a serving military officer, a naval officer, so he was tried under the relevant rules and under the relevant laws of the land. So will he be
allowed to exhaust every legal option available to him, sir?
Absolutely.
Will the Pakistani case as state, if necessary, relook at this case? Will you review the case?
Everything,
you have a civilian government.
Legal course would be available to him, and Pakistan would like itself that justice is done at the end. So he would have the right to appeal, and ultimately he would have the right to mercy petition as well.
I'm going to leave it there, High Commissioner. We will wait and see how Pakistan proceeds with the Khulbhushan Yadav case. Thank you very much for joining us. That is the Pakistan High Commissioner, Abdul Basit, on the Khulbhushan Yadav case.